Welcome to Intentional Wealth with Tiffany Tippins. I'm your host, Tiffany Tippins, and we have the CEO and founder, Miss
Courtney Porter with the Self-Care CEO podcast.
And Courtney, tell me about the Self-Care CEO podcast.
Yes.
What is it about? It sounds so interesting.
Well, I pretty much focus on women entrepreneurs and how their mental health, it's geared around mental health boundaries and burnout and ways to reduce burnout by learning successful self-care strategies.
What made you start this podcast?
Well, just based on a medical issue, I guess to be transparent, 3 years ago, I had a ruptured brain aneurysm and I had to have brain surgery. And I was working like 3 different jobs. I was contracting. I was working as a full-time clinical director of a mental health facility in addition to starting my own business and contracted with another mental health company. And I didn't realize how burnt out I was and how overwhelmed I was. I was just doing and going and going and going because I felt like that's what I had to do. And because being in a hospital slowed me down, it allowed me time to reflect and focus on exactly what's important. And my health is more important than any money I'm trying to chase to get to anything. And just as a woman entrepreneur, we want to make it.
Exactly.
And we want success and we want stability and security because we're women too.
Sure.
That's our focus. But that's not the source of who we are. We're more than just what we do. We're beings before we're doings.
I agree. That's powerful. And I think especially as a Black woman, we know how to work, right? We know how to work, provide for our family. We're nurturers. We feel like we can do it all. And sometimes we give so much to others that we neglect from taking care of ourselves. How have you seen your podcast manifest and help transition or transform women of how they move about in their personal lives and in their business?
Well, right now, because I just relaunched it, the guests who I do bring in and interview is pretty much women business owners, but asking them how they've navigated their own self-care and their own personal experience and what they would do differently from where they started versus where they are now, just to show that self-care is important and it's not just an option anymore, it's a requirement.
Right. Self-care is essential, right? So, as a wealth manager, as you stated, like you were working like 3 different jobs, and I'm sure that was your motivation to either make more money or scale faster, but sometimes we need to slow down, especially as we're getting older. Hopefully we're getting more wiser, and you saw that from the health scare that your health is your wealth. Like without your health, you can't do nothing. It don't matter how much money you make.
At all.
Right.
If I'm under the ground, I can't spend it.
Exactly. So we want to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves. Sure, we're taking care of our families, but just like they say when you're on an airplane, if there's an emergency landing, you got to pull down that mask and put it on yourself.
Exactly.
Because you're going to pass out while you're trying to help
somebody else. You help more people when you help yourself first. But I think it's also conditioning, because a lack of self-care I've learned, even in my career as a therapist, is a learned behavior.
Well, we're recording. That's all right. So we're going to start over. That's okay. That's okay. So we'll pick up from your wealth is your health, right? So I've realized as well as working as a wealth manager, and I work with the majority of women that, they could be working a lot of jobs or working somewhere stressful. Like you were working 3 jobs, and I would assume that you were doing that to either scale faster or earn more money to put you in a different position. Right. But you can't do anything if you can't operate your own body.
Absolutely.
right? So this is the most important treasure is our bodies, taking care of our minds so we can help someone else.
Exactly.
Just like they say on the airplane, right? When you pull down that mask in case of an emergency,
Mask yourself.
you got to mask yourself first before you take care of anyone else.
And you help more people also, because if I'm masked with the airplane analogy, then I can extend myself to more people. But if I'm wheezing out of breath,
you're no good to nobody else, including yourself.
Exactly.
So from your health scare, it looks like you pivoted, right, and reevaluated in that hospital.
Back.
And sometimes life has to teach us to stop and stand still, reevaluate, and let's make a shift.
Yeah.
What did that do for you, your family, and realign or reevaluate your business?
Well, one, it encouraged me to create a framework. So even when I choose to work with women entrepreneurs, I give them direction. And I created the RIB framework, which is pretty much rest, identity, and boundaries. And teaching them that we don't earn rest. Rest is required. It's nothing you earn. And our identity isn't in what we do. Our identity is who we are outside of what we do.
Outside of what we do.
And the boundaries is the limitations that we have to put in place and parameters to prevent burnout, to prevent a nervous breakdown, all the extreme case scenarios when we don't focus on ourselves.
So, I mean, I love that framework, Rib. Rest, what's the I?
Identity.
Identity, and B is boundaries. So working with women myself, you know, these are sometimes executives, suite-seats, they're making 6 figures, they're at a job that they don't like, it's stressful, it's causing health issues within themselves, their minds can't rest, and they're thinking about their money because they're texting their wealth strategists at 10 and 11 o'clock at night. And I'm like, the market is closed, man. I need you to go to sleep. I need you not to worry about money. What are some things that people can do just simply to just get in a position to do some of the things? Yours kind of took you to a health scare where it forced you to reevaluate. What are some simple things? Because, you know, we could be stressed all day dealing with clients, dealing with life issues that women can do to realign themselves throughout the day.
Well, small steps that you can take is reflect on how are you managing your time? It's like, what are you giving your time to? And how much of your time is geared towards others versus yourself?
Okay.
So if most of your day is all on what you're giving to somebody without the return on investment for yourself, then you need to reevaluate.
Yes. So be intentional with your time.
With your time.
What about taking care of ourselves? I mean, I'm trying to walk more, you know, since I turned 50 a couple months ago.
Don't lie to the people.
Girl, we 1975 all day. But thank God for rest. I'm tired now, but hey, we're working it through. You know, I do try, and one thing you talking about being intentional, I stayed, I'm probably about a half a mile from the hotel, and it forced me to walk over here. So I've been walking back and forth instead of catching an Uber, right? And so because I can't get my exercise in like I would get it at home, because over the last year, when I talked to you about your podcast, I was like, oh, that's me all day. Like you get up and you go straight to work instead of, you know, having a good breakfast or going for a walk.
10-minute meditation. Like slowing down.
Exactly. Not spending the time with the good Lord in the morning. So they just want us to be great today. Let's start over. We gonna cut this up again.
We're gonna chop it up.
Yes. what are some suggestions that you would give to women just starting their day? Because I know I set that trap for myself. Sometimes I get up in the morning, I'll go straight to work. I'm trying to be a little bit better with that now that I'm older. However, like I set an intention to stay a little bit further from the airport. I'm a little bit further from the hotel, and I know we're at the podcast summit, and walk versus taking an Uber. Because I'm not in my regular routine, I can't walk around my neighborhood, so I set that intention to get my exercise in today. What are some other things that you suggest, maybe breathing techniques or that can make women relax a little bit more and just put themselves first before they get to the busyness of the day?
Breathing techniques is a good one. There's a strategy called square breathing.
Okay.
To where you make a square with your hand, and each line is you inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. We call it the box breathing.
Okay, nice.
And so it teaches you how to slow down and pace yourself. And you can do it however many times you need to. I would say at least 5 times.
Okay.
Also, I would dedicate, before you jump into your phone or emails, at least 10 to 15 minutes just focus on quiet meditation.
Okay.
Now, if you're a spiritual person, that may look like prayer. It may look like reading a scripture. I know the way I ground myself each morning is every morning I read Psalms 91 out loud.
Okay.
That's my way of grounding myself. I drink my water, mind my business before I cater to my client's business. And then I eat a grapefruit because I'm trying to get into natural ways of things that can heal your body outside of medication. And grapefruits are helpful for normalizing your blood pressure. And so, just based off research, those are just things that I do to ground myself before I start my day.
One thing that I do like to do every now and then is take a nice hot bath and relax. There's a spot we have that's new in Dallas area called World Springs, and there's about 40 pools, spring pools that they have at the location. I love it. I'll do that every now and then. But something that you don't have to go anywhere. It's just do a nice hot bath and soak in the bath, and that calms my spirit as well. Do you see probably more high achievers that you're having on your show, or that you're talking to that they're just on the go, mind is busy 24 hours? You talked about boundaries and the RIB framework. Like, I had to make sure for me and my own sanity, and I know a lot of it wasn't intentional, but to get a second phone for my business and cut it off at a certain time.
Right. That's another strategy too. And that's a boundary, because that's it's a boundary with your time. It's like, if you call past this time, you won't find me.
I don't want you to find me. I don't want to be found. Like, I love what I do, right? But, and I think that's, it's interesting how that happens, because especially if you're single and you don't have any kids, people think that, you
got all the time in the world.
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Right.
I want to lunch out on some I don't do reality TV, but
whatever it
some
is you
show
want to watch,
or watch a YouTube or a podcast or whatever. You have to intentionally turn work off, or it will really, I feel like, drive you crazy. You have to relax your mind.
You do have to have a cutoff and a turn off. It's just unhealthy for anything. And the analogy that I use with my clients and anybody who I talk to is we tend to treat our phones better than we treat ourselves, because we make sure our phone is fully charged.
And reset and update it when it needs to.
Even before it starts to turn red. We're like, let me make sure it's good.
Exactly.
We focus on our phone's health, and that's the same way. We need to learn how to recharge and know how to reset ourselves before we get in the red.
Exactly. So are you gonna have a retreat? I see a retreat coming up.
Are you putting that on?
Yes. I see a retreat. I see blue water. I see sand.
Okay.
Yes, I see yoga.
Oh.
I got some calm music in the back.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
When is this retreat coming that I'm just making up? I might have to do a retreat for business owners to focus on their finances, but then we incorporate that RIP framework where we also rest from it too.
Absolutely, that'd be nice.
That would be nice. Costa Rica 2026. Get your passports ready. Yes, well, it's been a pleasure speaking with you.
It's been a joy talking with you too.
And I can't wait to hear the podcast. When is the next episode dropping?
The next episode drops Tuesday.
Okay, awesome.
I release every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday. Mm-hmm. One last question for you. Okay. On my banner, I have where will you be 1 year from today? With the podcast going, sounds like it's going strong. Where do you see your business and yourself in the next 12 months?
Oh, hopefully scaling back from person-to-person interaction and more products, because I have physical products and digital products, and I want to pull back from having to give direct contact to people, but provide more resources and be the source.
Exactly. That's you setting those boundaries.
Yes.
Yeah, awesome.
So that's why I hope to see myself within 12 months.
Well, listen, you put it in the atmosphere.
Look, I'm going to write it when we finish. Claim it, build it.
Hey, you got it. We got it. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Ms. Courtney.
Having me.
And I can't wait to tune in to the next